Hey, everybody. Get on out of that student union. We've unlocked the doors. You're not stuck in there anymore. Grab your donuts, your bagels, your scrambled eggs.
Yep. Yes, she is.
Climb on into the lecture hall, folks, as we are going to get into it about Days of Our Lives, week of April 7th, 2024.
April 7th?
April 8th, 7th, 8th. It's the week of, the last week.
It's the week of. Yeah.
The last week of shows. Anyway, sorry we're incredibly late. I'm just going to be honest with you. We give Angela so much time to get here, and she doesn't. And she just doesn't. So, in order to combat that,
She pops in, that's good.
We're just going to go on. We're just going to go on 9, 9, 10, 9:05 and stop this waiting game. Hi, everybody. It's me, Matt.
It's me, Kat. Hi, guys.
We're ready to get started with class. Am I lined up good? Am I weird? Are we weird? No, we're good. We're perfect. Look at that.
Are we perfect?
We're perfect.
Well, I put my mic in front of me. I didn't leave it in no man's land.
Perfect. Amazing. Great. Anyway, it's not just us. Sandra's here. Hi, Sandra. Kelly, Jeannie. Hello. Hello.
Hi, guys.
How many people were hanging out waiting and then was just like, oh, they're not coming today.
I hope none.
Yeah, I hope none too. Good week. Good week. Let's dun. Weather at 9:24. It got dreary again.
It got dreary again?
Mm-hmm. It's like I brought the Bay Area with me when I moved down here.
Well, it's dreary here. It's dreary here. You know what? Maybe California here is having some sympathy pains for Salem because Salem's got a big storm coming.
They do. They're battening down the hatches.
They are.
They're nailing their cabinets closed, making sure the shutters are secure.
They are having
the biggest storm in Illinois history is headed here.
They're having themselves a big April showers bring May flowers.
It's going to be so beautiful.
Excuse
me.
Quit your coughing.
Goodness. Kelly wants to know where's Angela. Oh, she said she was on the way, and now she's not. I'm sure she's fine. What happens, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the last couple of weeks, she's been fairly double booking herself on these Sundays. So
yeah, a little bit.
It's just, it seems as though her schedule's getting a little out of control.
She's busy, I guess.
Busy.
Very busy. Busy chick.
There's also the realist reality of, and we gotta be honest. If you have been watching Days of Our Lives for 20 years, you're pretty bored with it right now.
Possibly.
Generally speaking.
Possibly.
There's a lot of really big, rabid Days of Our Lives fans that just aren't enjoying the product right now. And that's it. It's a thing, Soaps are high, they're low. They ebb, they flow. Sometimes they're great and can't miss TV, and sometimes they're just there to keep you company as your days go on. And so I think, I know this person, but still don't come to me for the news. My assumption is that just there isn't the same connection to the show right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but it poured for Kelly yesterday. It was very rainy over on her island. And also Sandra experienced it in Western Pennsylvania.
Yesterday.
Oh, see, here we go.
Poured
Jeannie.
here yesterday.
Here we go. See, Jeannie supports it. Jeannie, big Days of Our Lives fan, has been watching it for a long time. And she says, yeah, I'm bored right now, especially when Galen's not on. She's got a clear favorite. It's Rafe. If Rafe's not in the story, which is who she's still invested in, then the rest of the show is just really not bringing it.
I tell you what, I hope someday you have an opportunity to meet him, because I did meet him. He's so handsome in real life.
He really is.
They're all so beautiful, but he's just got striking eyes in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And when he speaks to you, he really talks to you,
Yeah, his engagement is
he
over.
talks to you.
Yeah, it's off
I like
the chart.
him a lot.
You know who also does that? So two other people do that. Two other people are really good at making sure that you know that they're paying attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
James Reynolds and Wally Kurth.
Yes.
You know
Yes,
who they are focused on in the room.
absolutely. I got that with both of them. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And James, Wally, I think he's just so personable, and James is just so smart.
Oh, I found him to be just a perfect gentleman.
Yeah.
You know that not in just the way he spoke and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know, just the way he holds himself, everything about him. He just seemed like just such a um, genuine, you know,
Mm-hmm.
old school gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you wanna put like James Reynolds and Sidney Poitier in a room together,
Yeah,
and to just listen to that conversation. I know we can't. It'd have to be one of those fantasy things, but you know,
yeah.
Jeannie has met him 100 times. She says so. She knows, man.
Oh,
Ooh,
you
she
have.
knows.
So, do you feel the same way?
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
he was, well, I thought he was the cat's meow.
You found a lot of those dates, guys. Actually, a little more delicious, we could say, in real life
Oh well.
versus their presentation on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But TV does have a way of kind of altering somebody's look. Um, since everything's in like widescreen now, I don't know if TV adds 10 pounds anymore because things aren't like squished. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, makeup, being at the beginning or the end of a 14-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
Even what they dress you in and your hair. Like I know this isn't Days of Our Lives, but I know that our chat lives to talk about it. Maxie over on General Hospital over the last couple of weeks has kind of gotten a little backstage wardrobe and makeup makeover.
She has, and they've started. I just noticed this past week too. This last couple of days, actually, they've starting to lighten her hair again. They are slowly
Yeah.
stepping back to her hair being very light with probably dark roots like it used to be.
hmm
It'll
And
be there.
yeah, just based off of the hair and the costuming that they're giving Maxie, it kind of gives it just a different just feeling to her on the camera.
And
So
you can also notice this too. And I really notice it in people's jaw lines on television more than anything else.
yeah.
She's lost a couple of pounds.
Mm-hmm. 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 So yeah, so that's just an example. I mean, it's not a day's example, but it's an example nonetheless.
Hmm.
Just about how hair, makeup,
Actually,
costuming can just greatly change how somebody looks.
actually, you know who I noticed on Days of Our Lives has dropped a couple of pounds?
Hmm.
Jackie.
So I was hoping Angela would be here because she might have a little insight. They've had Jack A in this bed for so long.
I think it has a lot to do with her knee because when we were there in October and we
Mm-hmm.
had a chance to meet her,
Yeah.
it was soon after knee replacement.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you think it's just resting after surgery?
I think it is because if you look at October up till now, it's around what they were filming and doing back in the October November timeframe
Yeah.
is getting to screen now.
Yeah, yeah. So they recently just filmed that 15,000th episode of Days of Our Lives, which is going to be Doug's funeral. Yeah, but they've already said this isn't going to be on TV until December, which means that
Oh, they've
six
already said
months.
that.
Yeah, that 6 months that they were talking about before seems to have grown.
Yeah,
Because if that's not going to
yeah,
be on until December, we're talking what is that? 7, 8 months?
yeah. Well, they said that before that they bounce between 6 and 7 months ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, and they could do this easily. Make Doug's funeral episode not have any story content. Make it singular.
I don't think that. Yeah, so it
And then
seems as though
you can plug it in anywhere you want to.
very true, very, 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 very
You could
true.
have it
And
right
maybe
now.
maybe that's the case. Maybe they're just holding it for it being the 15,000th episode when it could have aired earlier. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
But I do know that they have brought a lot of previous actors in for this. Basically, Corday and the new co-executive producer, I can't remember her name right now. Hopefully the chat can
mhm.
remind me. But they pretty much went to the head writers and said, blank check.
Wow.
Now, of course, people are going to be responsible and not spend $1 billion.
Right.
But
But they
basically,
gotta sweeten the pot a little bit.
hey, if you want to if you feel like the stepson of his college nephew's roommate
Hmm.
should be at this funeral, then go ahead and reach out to that actor and make an offer.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think the expectation is to see a lot of old faces come through to say goodbye to Doug.
Well, that's great, especially for the what the folks that have been watching it forever and ever. That's great for you guys because you can. I love that. Reach back stuff, and
Yeah,
I love all that.
yeah.
Especially if you've been a now for Matt and I when we watch it, sure we're going to recognize some of them and stuff, but we're not going to have the same kind of like melancholy kind of feeling y'all will.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah.
quite the same, right?
No, no. We're gonna enjoy the clips though, and the history,
Absolutely.
and the reaction, reflection, and stories of Doug,
Yeah.
and of course the
Yeah.
performances.
Of course.
Of course, of course. Kelly says
And
that they already.
Days of Our Lives watchers,
Mm-hmm.
fans, they I think they're perfectly fine with Doug's episode being much later because we just did the Victor thing.
Yes.
It was months later as well.
Well, I mean, as always, when these things happen, there's an immediate buzz of how to handle it on the show. What are they going to do? Well, this is what I think they should do. This is what I hope that they avoid.
Hmm.
But so I think that Days of Our Lives has a really big advantage in how long it would take for this stuff to roll out. If you compare to just again GH, when it came to Jackie Zeman's death during the writer's strike, people were like, when is it? 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 Give it, give it, give it, give it, give it.
Hmm.
With Days, you don't expect it to be on in the next 5 weeks.
Right. Right. I mean, if General Hospital gets 8 weeks ahead, that's a
Mhm.
surprise.
Yeah.
Just typically they're about 3 or 4 weeks ahead. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sandra says, without a doubt, Peter Reckel and Kristen Alfonso are going to be on. I don't know who those are, but I imagine they were
That's Bow
prominent.
and Hope, isn't it?
Oh, okay. So then, yes, very prominent Days actors and characters from yesteryear. And then she follows up with, they're keeping it as a big secret. So maybe this list isn't complete that Kelly has. Maybe there's some more surprises to expect.
That'd be cool.
They did put up a cast. They put up a photo of all of the cast standing around the 15,000 cake.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who I spotted in there, Ma?
Who's that?
I saw myself a Remington Hoffman standing in the back.
Did you really?
I sure did.
Oh,
I sure did, Mama.
I wonder if anybody else caught that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. It's not like
That
I saw his left eye peeking over, like Stephen Nichols' shoulder or something, like anybody else could have seen it.
Either he had just so much love and admiration for Bill Hayes that he just went for the day, which is possibility,
Oh, he back.
or Lee ain't dead.
Oh, he back.
And that kind of does make sense a little bit because I noticed the last 3 weeks they've had the last 2 weeks they've had Wendy on the phone with her dad.
Mm-hmm.
They've had EJ on the phone with her dad.
Kristen on the phone with her dad.
They've had Kristen on the phone with her dad.
Yeah.
In the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Shin's gonna come back and he'll have Lee with him.
And have Lee with him. Look who I found floating in the ocean after he escaped a submarine.
Right?
Jeannie says that the new Gabby was in that photo too. So I guess the new face of Gabby is revealed.
I know Steve Burton's face wasn't there.
He definitely wasn't there. He definitely was not.
His face ain't been there a long time.
But if Remington Hoffman is on his way back to Days, I'm here for. I did enjoy Lee and that little bit of Lee that we had before he left. I liked what they were doing. I liked his little romance with Melinda. It was probably the best thing that Melinda was up to. Because now she's just in the shadows, making sure that Sloane keeps that baby.
Yeah, we don't see her very much at all.
No, they hit the brakes
Almost
big
never.
time.
She kind of went to the land of Belle.
To a degree, she shows up a little more often than Belle does. So it's
Yes.
you know how we were talking to Angela and the other Days of Our Lives fans before about Melinda, and we're like, oh, what's her thing? Da 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 da. And they're like, honestly, this is the most screen time she's gotten her entire run. What she's doing with Lee, And so it seems as though she might have just been placed back in that original pocket of gonna show up as often as Felix or Amy does on GH type of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they can come up with something. If Lee comes back, maybe that'll resurrect Melinda. I don't know.
You know what made me laugh this week? It kind of made me laugh. Julie. She made me laugh because now Julie, her regular home, that's almost finished already. I know. The Horton house that got burned up.
Yes.
So the Horton house seemed to be more of a typical home.
A typical old person retired home.
1,000 square feet.
No.
A typical home.
Yeah, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms.
And expansive hallways that you can get lost.
Maybe, they I mean, I bet we know exactly how many bedrooms are in that house.
So,
I mean, I bet the fans do.
It cracked me up, though. It cracked me up because Julie, man, people are under her foot in that big old mansion. She needs to run away from home for a second. Then, little kids are knocking glasses of wine out of her hand and everything, and she's starting to get a little bit curmudgeon.
I'm trying to be retired.
Yeah. It just cracked me up that she cannot wait to get back to the Horton house with all the sounds of family bubbling around me constantly. But when she goes to that big ass mansion, those kids are bugging the hell out of me today.
They sure are. I just want to sit here and drink this wine in the afternoon.
And read my book.
I don't understand.
I'm just trying to be a day drinking granny.
However, it is also an expansive house with wings. And Julie probably could have found a quiet corner to be in that wasn't right there.
But no, she's going to have to run off in a snowstorm or a rainstorm or a sleet storm or whatever kind of storm it is.
Right now.
She's going to run up to the cabin.
I've got to go somewhere that is in my name. Right up to the Horton cabin.
I tell you, one more minute, she'd have seen herself, the moon in the sky and a couple of more moons too.
The moons and melons. Maybe a hot dog and walnuts. Like, goodness gracious. I'm not, I can't come up with a fun food analogy for a woman's anatomy beyond the melons. That it just doesn't sound just super gross.
I know.
There's just none. Hot dogs and walnuts. That's funny. There's really nothing I can think of.
Really love your peaches, gonna shake your tree. Remember that song? So anyway, that made me laugh. That made me laugh. I tell you who's smooth though. That Johnny is a smooth little husband.
Do you still need to be smooth? He's married.
He managed to get himself a wonderful Italian dinner up there.
Yeah.
Bread the bacon, and the baker didn't even know that he brought it.
I know, right?
Made his sauce, all his stuff in the car, hid it, took it out. Oh, that Johnny is smooth, isn't he? And so easy on the eyes.
Chanel did right. She might have chosen correctly. If only Jacarius was here to tell us how much he loves Johnny Demira. So we can join in on the love fest. He wasn't in Playgirl, Ma, and that magazine is out now.
I saw a cover of it.
I saw the cover of it too. You know how all those people are like, oh, how come Brooklyn never takes her jacket off? Talk about chaste. It was like the most unrevealing cover I think I've ever seen of one of these magazines.
Well, it was just a bunch of boys sitting there without a shirt on.
Pretty much.
They all have jeans on, don't they?
Like one dude was in his chones, and but they were all like loose-fitting, really long boxers. It was just so PG-13.
But yeah, I was PG-13. But I tell you what, my eyes went right to Brady.
Of course. But you could say, really honestly, at this point, nobody has to look at Alex. We see it every day.
That's true. That's true. But Alex got a great body.
He always has. And that's something that I really I'll use the word admire, I guess, because for lack of spending a bunch of time thinking about a different one. Um, because he's kind of always carried that physicality about himself, which just shows incredible discipline and determination and focus in his real life. And when
And
talking,
crazy genetics probably as well.
crazy genetics help and an early start. You know, I'm sure he got started when he was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like it would be interesting to talk to him again because we talked to him at Day at Days,
We
and
did.
he's one of those intellectual actors. You know, he's thinking about what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
which is always nice. I like it when an actor is obviously somebody who thinks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be interested to talk to him again, find out
Of
what his
course.
fitness journey has been like without trying to sound like I'm drooling all over him. Kelly says, "Sing it, Mama Cat." So you got a fan. You got a fan. You know who loves karaoke? It's my mama. Okay.
I'm crazy about karaoke.
If there was a way for us to do like online karaoke without triggering a bunch of copyright laws, we'd be on it. We
I
would
got
send
to
the
sing.
Zoom link
I got to
out.
sing karaoke with Evan Hoffer.
You sure did. And we got to do a quadret with William Lipton and James Patrick Stewart.
We sure did.
That was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, you got one-on-one time with Evan Hoffer. You got to sing with Dex.
I sure did. Sure did.
And
He's so ultra young.
yeah, he really is young 20s, isn't he?
I mean, he is really young. I kind of felt like his grandma standing up there next to him.
Any video of that, Jeannie wants to know. Yeah, you have video on your phone, right?
Actually, yeah, we do.
Yeah, I think you probably sent it to me too. Honestly, on my phone, because I haven't replaced it in this entire time in both conventions. I've actually done a really good job of maintaining this one. I'm very proud of myself.
I have all of it still on my phone too,
Don't
and
you?
I have changed my phone since then, but
Well,
it all
awesome.
got transferred over.
Right. But I actually have both. I have both years of convention still on here. So
Mhm.
I probably have that because I know you sent it to me because I had one of those splitting migraines, and honestly, Ma, I think that was the last time I had one.
Yeah.
At least one of those
Well,
ones where I mean I've had headaches and I've like gone to bed, you know, an hour early, but when it comes to like I can't do anything else today, I think that was the last time I had one.
yeah. And that comes that for you, you have to eat regularly.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's
you
kind of
have
what it
to make
boils
sure
down
you
to.
get way enough water.
I feel pretty hydrated on a regular, but I guess not
I'm
necessarily a
distracted for a
ton.
second. You see this for a second.
Oh, is there breaking news?
No.
Oh,
My TV went on to the, you know how if you're watching screening, I'll just start playing something else.
mm-hmm.
So it just started playing something else, and I looked over and I saw, oh, what the bucket is his name? He was married. Frisco.
Oh,
Jack
oh,
Wagner.
oh,
Jack Wagner is on this, and this is what it when the wind calls the heart.
oh! I think that's well, it's like a Western soap or something.
Oh, okay.
When calls the
I just
heart.
got distracted by
I'm,
that's Frisco.
is that the show that I think James covers that one in detail? I think he does. When calls the heart. Is it like
Oh,
a Hallmark show?
well, it's on Peacock right now, but who knows?
I think Peacock does Hallmark.
Hallmark Peacock.
I think so.
I think so.
I think so. I think he covers that in detail. It's like 11 seasons deep or something.
Oh, it is kind of westerny.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it beyond that though. Jeannie says that it's on Hallmark and Peacock. So yeah, When Calls the Heart is a great show. She says.
Oh, maybe I'll watch it. Although, gosh,
Jeannie would love to see the karaoke. I think we might have played a little bit of it during the. You know, we have also like video of Don L. Turner and Taj Bella doing push-ups. And truthfully, if I were to just put those clips up on YouTube, they'd probably get a lot of views
do it, man.
from people who are drooling over menses.
Do it, man.
You know what? I should. You want me to put up your karaoke as well?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
I'll do it. Keep your eyes on it on the channel, everybody. I'll try to spread it out. Won't do it all at one time. I'll do it like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday upload. Yeah, that's the ticket. That's the ticket. Paulina's radioactive.
That cracks me up.
It's just so
That
silly.
cracks me up. And I want to know if there's any, is that all baloney? Or I think it's all baloney.
I don't know. Do they pump radioactive isotopes in people? I think that, I mean, radiation therapy is a thing, but I mean, we kind of know
Absolutely.
from our own like family experience that it's more like a laser beam ray gun than an injection, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Kelly says
My
she's got a new
dad's
name for you.
cancer
It's
was
karaoke
discovered. My
cat.
dad's cancer was discovered so late he didn't even have treatment. So I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just that was leukemia, I think, and so like there's all kinds of.
Well, he had leukemia, but he didn't have. But by the time they discovered his cancer, he had cancer from head to toe.
Oh, yeah, right. But they're not sure what originally metastasized.
They think lung.
That would make sense. And that's from asbestos. Check on your family, folks. Kelly's got a new name for you. Karaoke cat.
Ah,
hey.
I do love the karaoke. Ew.
When Calls the Heart, says Jeannie, takes place in 1910, currently, to 1920. I guess, because it's 10 seasons long. It's a very nice and clean show.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I can watch it. Then I gotta watch somebody beat someone's ass at some point.
I don't know if it gets. I think it just comes to more like emotional arguments. And how could you, Stan? How could you? It's 1915. It's the modern world.
A hard time. Well, I'm sure I'd be fine with this because it's written it's written today, but from period piece. But like old movies, like from the 30s and 40s, and all old movies.
Don't you want to be a pretty girl?
The misogyny in old movies just makes me.
So yeah, it's an interesting like parabola of like reality. Like it was really misogynistic for a really 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 long time, which was not reality. Women were stronger and more capable and less you brute. And then we get into like the late 90s and early 2000s where women have been liberated, I guess we can say. There's a lot of like girl power and that sort of stuff, in which I feel as though we really achieved a lot of reality in entertainment then. A lot of closeness to what people really are like. It's still still a little off center, still a little mean to gay people. It's still a little scantily clad for the ladies. But when it came to like attitude and ability and direction and capability, it was really, really there. And I think that we've slid now into like overly capable. And I'm talking not just women. I'm talking all heroes across all media and entertainment. Our good people are so undeniably skilled, talented, unbeatable, wise beyond their years, smart without having a degree, always right, that it's back into the realm of not reality.
Maybe.
That's just me being a nerd about stuff that isn't soaps, though. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but radioactive, she just cannot stop working, huh?
Yeah. Sandra says that they've been planted for some cancers for years. So I guess this is maybe a regular thing.
Implanted? Papa will have that.
Well, there you go.
Cancer.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Put some little gold balls near his balls.
I don't know anything about that.
And then they radioactivated him.
Radioactive. So, people had to steer clear and wear special suits.
And I didn't have to stay away from him because of it.
Special suits. Now, I think that's part where we're in fantasy, where it's like, well, we got to stay away from Pauline.
Yeah.
She's radioactive.
And after they check her levels in a couple of days, then they can let her out.
Is the storm gonna hit, right? And then like the power goes out, and then she's irradiated, and she's just glowing, right? She's glowing green, and she ushers everybody to safety.
That's some crazy Days of Our Life stuff. I'm all there for it because I missed all the crazy
I
Satan
know.
stuff.
I would love
So
for
yeah.
Lemon Green Paulina to be a thing.
Oh, I would love it.
Just
Would love it.
come on, Abe.
And then they have to shut down the square.
Shut down the square, and she runs through it, and people are running and screaming. Then it's a monster! It's the Hulk! And she's like, "No, no, no! It's Mayor Paulina Price."
And then the storm, and the storm hits, and she gets electrocuted, and because she's radioactive already, it just bounces off of her.
It bounces off of her and hits Clyde Weston.
That's fabulous stupidity.
And he does an overly dramatic charm to death, where he throws his arms in the air and goes "Wah!" and then explodes.
Well, I would have to think that, I would think that maybe Clyde's time of destruction may be closing in.
I get the feeling that Clyde and Harris might be falling off at the same time, as they get in a fist fight on top of a skyscraper and go tumbling over the side or something.
And he is trying to save Ava in some way, and the reason why he's there in the first place is because of Ava, so she kind of killed him.
Yeah.
And she's going to be eat up with sorrow and remorse.
What do I
that
do?
she's going to be a Vitelli again.
And then she goes to lean on Stefan for advice and help.
Mm.
Not Stefan. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Stefan?
Stefan.
Stefan? Yeah.
Stefan.
Stefan, because Stefan was on GH. Yeah, Sandra says it's pretty common practice for thyroid and prostate cancer to have these implantations of radioactivity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great job, Sandra, knowing stuff.
My stepfather had it, and it worked. He don't have it. He doesn't have cancer.
It makes me think of shows like CSI, where these detectives on CSI, like Gil Grissom, they know everything. And this kind of like ties into what I was talking about before, where our heroes are so capable. That there was a little bit of time in which I felt really stupid. Like I felt like I don't know anything in comparison to TV characters, and I had to like realize how dumb that was, and then and so now I'm just I'm happy to know people like Sandra who know more things than I do and are happy to share that information, because goodness gracious, can you imagine how ill-informed this podcast would be if it wasn't for the chat?
Well, they do help us, that's for gosh darn sure.
So it doesn't seem like Xander really faced much trouble at all.
No. Because now he's been completely.
He's exonerated. Like EJ dropped the charges.
Yes,
clearly
completely.
I've been framed. Like it's just like without trying to sound like a criticism, I'm wondering why we did any of this. I'm not sure what it contributed to. Did it strengthen him and Sarah in some way, proving that I didn't do a thing after being suspected
I think
of
so.
it?
I think so, because she never wavered from him.
Right. And that shows the solidity of their bond. Coming off of their tumult.
Yes.
And
now I want Xander. I would be happy to see Xander be one of the reasons why Constantine finally gets put back on a plane.
Well, I mean, he is intrinsically tied into Constantine's first actions on the show without even realizing it. Alex
Yes, he
Kyriakis is spending all of Xander's money.
Yes. 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 I think that Xander should be part of getting rid of Constantine. And man, oh man, I don't care if it's at the altar when dumb Maggie's about to marry him. That'd be fine with me as long as she doesn't actually marry him.
Right. I imagine it's going to be one of the he'll push for one of those like quick city hall weddings. That way, there's no chance of if anybody wishes to speak now, I'll forever hold your peace. There's no chance of that if it's just us and a witness.
Well, she told him. She did say, only way for you to stay here, really, marriage.
No. Perhaps we should be married, Maggie, if we were to join together in holy matrimony. No, Constantine. I'm going to get my lawyers on it. Uh,
Justin better get on that.
it's just, oh boy, Constantine. Constantine. What is Constantine going to do now that Thomas DeMiro can control the pond? And what is Thomas DeMiro going to do with all that power?
He doesn't know. He just knows he has a cool
I
car.
know, and he's going to show. He's going to, you know how he bonded.
He's
He
going to
played
show it to
baseball.
somebody.
He played baseball with John over in the burned house. Which means that they're going to be hanging out again. And he's going to be like, "Hey, look at this cool thing." I don't know. Are they related? I don't. So Abigail.
You tell us, you guys. Tell us. Is John related?
Abigail and Chad are
Yes.
Thomas's parents. Chad is a DeMira, which John is not.
Right.
But I don't know who Chad's mom is. It could be John's sister for all I know.
It could be.
And then there's Chad's mom, and then there's Abigail, who's a Devereaux, but I don't know her family connections either. She could be John's cousin, for all
She's
I
a
know.
Horton somehow. She's a Horton.
You okay?
Abigail's a Horton.
Yeah, right. She's a Horton. Horton Devereaux, Devereaux Horton. Or is Chad the... Yeah, no, she's the Horton. Chad is not the Horton. So,
Right.
I don't know. Chad's going to have to help. Chad is going to have to help us figure out if there is a family connection between John Black and Thomas DeMira. But regardless of a family connection, that boy is going to show him that card, and he's going to have a very powerful, rich old man to go and take him to ice cream.
Yes.
Can we go get ice cream? Let's go.
Yep.
Will you go beat up my bully? I'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Disneyland. Get in the car. I want it. I need it. Can we just be goofy? Can we be dumb? Can we give Drake Hogerson something to not boo-hoo over, but to just, like, show the silly pond with?
Yes.
I would be into it.
I would be into it, too.
Yes. In name only on her part, says Jeannie. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a reference to John or the Hortons. Well, Kelly's going to have ice cream soon, and I can't wait for her to enjoy that experience.
I can't eat ice cream.
I feel like it's been like 5 days since I've had ice cream, and I limit myself to a mug that's half this size. To ice cream. Ma, getting to the late 30s. It sure changes things.
Yeah.
Boy, does it change things.
And your birthday's just a few days away.
I know, Mom. 2 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
Practically, a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks and a day, according to this calendar I'm referencing right now. But yeah, so I guess April 28th, Sunday, April 28th will be my birthday spectacular.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to me. Happy Taurus Day.
Yeah.
Oh, James Light Jr. on here is a Taurus too.
Yes, he is.
Maggie Marion Khan in name only. Well, yeah. So it wouldn't be about love. No, of course it wouldn't be about love. But then when Constantine kills Maggie and takes all of her stuff that used to belong to Victor, then his plan will be complete. And I think that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point, right? Is to have all
I
of
thought,
Victor's
well, that's
stuff.
what he came. Isn't that what he came to town for?
To take
Was
Victor's stuff, to get his revenge.
Take
It should have
Victor's
been
stuff.
mine anyway. He did not share it with me. I gave him the original investment.
Mm-hmm.
Lactose-free double chocolate ice cream, says Kelly. That's good, Kelly. That's good. Because she's past the late 30s, so she understands too that things change. You can't have that lactose laden.
Half a cup of ice cream at a time, if
Well,
I have any.
I mean, because there's also, like you had the thing that limits how much you can cram in there.
Yeah, that's how it. Well, if I can eat anything I want, but I can't ice cream.
The only thing that is not returned to the list.
Anything that rushes sugar and dairy into my belly at the same time gives me a stomachache.
So no lattes then.
it's not too sugary.
Oh, okay. So you're not getting like the triple hazelnut syrupy shot in your latte. You're
Right.
just getting like just a little milk in my coffee, please.
And I don't know why it's the ice cream. Ice cream. Oh, it tears me up.
Oh my,
And you know what?
you know,
You know what the good thing about
yeah,
that is?
hmm,
Ice cream is not my absolute favorite.
yeah.
I don't miss it that much.
I like cookies. I like fresh cookies myself. The when I worked at an ice cream factory, so I know exactly how much sugar gets put in there, ma, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
And
lot.
you did work for an ice cream place, didn't you?
I did. I did. It was a little one, but I worked there. I worked there.
Mhm.
Worked in a
I
lot of
forgot
ice
what
cream.
that place was
It
called.
was called Humphrey's Slow Comb Ice Cream.
That's right.
Pretty exclusive to the Bay Area. I think they were entering some
Mhm.
grocery stores nationwide, but it wasn't like a major
Mhm.
rollout of found in every Safeway type of deal or anything.
Yeah, and it was a little cups, more like Haagen-Dazs kind of.
Yeah. They like to sell the pints, or you can go into the two stores that they had in San Francisco, and that was the only place that they operated storefronts in, was those two in San Francisco. I think they were going to open up another one when I left the company over in Daly City, so they were expanding. So
Hmm.
kudos to them. But yeah, I went to the ice cream factory so much, just sugar,
Yeah.
and then like gelatin. This was also fancy hoity-toity ice cream too.
It was
It was like the one
considered gourmet ice cream, right?
yeah, gourmet ice cream for sure. And I remember one of the flavors. It sticks in my mind because it was tobacco and bourbon, and it was like, oh my god, and it was
It
just
sounds
incredible.
disgusting.
It was so popular
Hmm.
because well, if we're gonna go out and get some ice cream, lady, then I'm gonna go out and get myself a manly flavor, okay?
Yeah, I could see an old coach codger making themselves a float out of that nonsense
Just root
with
beer,
whiskey, not soda or root beer.
real beer, just Heineken, bourbon and tobacco ice cream. Oh goodness. Ice cream is Jeannie's phrase, but Kelly sends a million emojis of cookies, so I think we're team cookie.
There you go.
We're team cookie.
Hey, you
Ma,
guys been to Costco and had the cookie there in the snack bar area? Because you know what they took? I don't know, in California, they took the Cheerios out. And now they have these big giant cookies.
I wonder if cookie dough is cheaper than churro dough,
I don't know,
or maybe they're
but
just
that's what they
easier
did
to
here. I
make.
haven't had one.
Because with a cookie, you just put it in the oven, take it out, scrape it off with a spatula, and you're done. With a churro, you gotta fry it, and you gotta dip it, and you gotta place it, and da. They probably
And
reduced the labor.
also, I noticed too that they don't prepare the cookies at the snack bar like they do everything else. They prepare the cookies back in the bakery where the other cookies are made and the other breads and stuff, and they wheel them on a big old cart
Ooh,
over
neat.
to the snack bar because I saw them do it.
Constant fiend. That's good, David.
Costing, oh, I like that.
Constant fiend. That is
Oh, that's
good.
a good
That is
one.
good. That is good. The
Yeah,
hot dog at Costco is always going to be $1.50.
yes.
People went
And and a rotisserie chicken will always be $4.99.
the dude who runs Costco had accounting come to him and be like, bro, man, you
Uh-huh.
gotta raise the cost of this hot dog. And he's like,
Uh-huh.
you can do that when I'm dead. Was
And they
basically the
still making
response.
money hand over fist. Come on.
Yeah,
Just like I don't know, you guys like in California. I'm sure you heard of it. So now in California, as of last week, if you are a fast food worker
mm-hmm.
or anybody and I kind of like this part. Okay. I kind of like this part because like these mom and pops little one restaurant places, they are exempt. You
Right.
have to have more than 60 employees.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know there's a bunch of fools out there that have 65 employees and now they have 59.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
know
I'm sure.
it. I'm sure of
I'm
it.
sure of it.
But I tell you what, as soon as that went into effect, everything got more expensive out there. You can't get a combo for less than like $14. It's crazy.
It's stupid, definitely. Because
And I tell you why it's stupid. Tell you why it's stupid. Because In-N-Out Burger here have been paying almost that
mm-hmm.
on their own
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
In-N-Out Burger has been paying almost $20. I think about $18 to start. Now it's going to have to be 20. But they've been doing that for years,
They
In-N-Out
have.
Burger.
Yeah,
And you know what they are? Profitable.
they but yeah, because listen, folks, what's happening?
And
You're watching a
it doesn't
cultural
cost
revolution.
$14 there.
You're watching a cultural revolution in which we are now, and then people who are conservative or loaded with money don't like this, but this is requiring rich people to be fair. But unfortunately, we can't require them to not also raise prices.
Right.
So we're forcing them to be fair in wages, but then they're just turning that back onto the consumer.
And I mean, I get it. I get it to a certain degree. I do get it to a certain degree, but In-N-Out Burger has proven that that's not necessarily necessary.
Yes, but In-N-Out Burger is making $3 million, for example. They're making $3 million when we're making $4.5 million. We don't want to go down to three. That's poor people money.
And I know a lot of people are saying minimum wage shouldn't be that, blah, blah, blah. I understand. But you know what? Back in the day, when I went and got my first apartment in 1980, my husband and I both made minimum wage.
And you
Full
live.
time minimum wage. And we were able to live.
Well, it's less about the amount of money that people were making and more about the increase of rent specifically. And I'm not even
Exactly.
talking like, I'm not even talking about
Housing is
bubble.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about like the recent growth bubble, in the last 15 years or whatever. I'm talking
Mhm.
like from 1980 to 1995 to 2005 to 2015. It's just
Right.
way up there. Anyway, we are so off topic.
I know.
So I guess Angela's not appearing, says Kelly. I guess not. So, whatever.
Have you heard from her? I haven't heard from her.
We're, come from Hat and Cat. All right, and we'll call Angela a special treat.
There you go.
Let's see. Holly is not allowed to talk to Rachel.
I say, yeah. What? What?
I guess it's because Nicole and Kristen nearly beat the tar out of each other.
Yeah, which was delicious
It's
to
so
watch.
delicious, right?
But it was so delicious. But, my gosh, Kristen herself is a worse influence on her daughter than Holly could ever be.
Yeah.
And I believe that Holly was having appropriate interaction and activities with 9-year-old Rachel.
Oh yeah, look at that, Kelly. You're so correct. So Angela has tweeted, but decided to not, inform me directly. That she's just a girl sitting in front of her laptop, begging it to finish updating so I can maybe get on the Zoom.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thank you very much, Kelly, for the update. Yeah, also thing. So they nearly beat each other up. Holly's not allowed to talk to Rachel. I don't think Rachel cares one way or the other. I think Rachel's just thinking about her next dastardly plan.
Yeah.
She's such a little
Rachel's just, what can I do now not to be bored?
Yeah. she's like dangerous ADD. Like, oh, I'm bored with this. What can I just write now? Remember Sid from Toy Story?
Oh my gosh.
You know, that poor troubled child who was just too bored for his own little tortured mind.
Yeah. Remember Sid with his poor doll? Oh my gosh, the doll spider thing.
Oh gosh, yes. And they were just tortured souls, but actually really nice. It was a good lesson to kids, don't judge a book by its cover. But also like sort of judge a book by its cover sometimes. Like if something with blade hands is running towards you, don't be like, oh, this is an opportunity to make a new friend. They probably mean you harm. So let's just be aware of that, children. I don't know how you teach a kid that.
Kristen overreacted a little bit with with Holly and Rachel's interaction.
Well, Holly is a ridiculous drunken drug addict.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but she is she is pushing the envelope quite a bit.
Yeah. She's
She's
testing those
she's a
boundaries.
she's a textbook teenager, and so many of them are like this. And man, if you can avoid this at all as a parent, you got your you got your parent personality,
Mm-hmm.
you got your real self.
Gosh, I feel like it might even be. I don't know if it's more or less because everybody does that.
Hopefully, you can get a teenager that does this some,
Yeah,
not just this.
I think 100% of humanity, you know, does that. I can't say that I was always the. I mean, I definitely that I wasn't the same exactly around you guys growing up that I was necessarily alone with my friends, and that was the case with everything, with
Yeah,
everybody, right? You,
right.
Kelly, Jeannie, David.
But not
But the
so
but
night
the,
day.
but the point is, how far away from the
Exactly.
center are these differing personalities?
Yes.
Mine were pretty close. Mine were
Yeah.
pretty close. I was a little more likely to say, "Ooh, I wonder what he looks like under his clothes" to my friends than I was to my mama, and that's
Yes.
like the main difference.
Mm-hmm.
With
Mm-hmm.
Holly,
Yeah.
oh boy.
And our new Tate really showed us that's really the case with him too. Really. Yeah. Like that. Like that.
Yeah, scary. It's
Mm-hmm.
scary. It's scary. So no,
But I tell you, Nicole and Kristen sure did love throwing each other's past in each other's faces.
we got a
Didn't they?
little we got a little glimpse of that messy Nicole people were talking about, right?
We did. We did. I got a glimpse of the Nicole that Angela's told me about.
So that's kind of nice. That's neat. That was
That's
fun.
kind of
That was
good.
a
That's
fun little
kind of
thing.
good.
And of
But
course,
we know that Ari has got one foot out the door. She ain't got that many
I mean,
episodes left.
yeah. And then I don't know. Is she back? I don't even know. I don't even know
I
what's
don't even
going
know
on.
either.
I'm not going to look it up either. I'm just going to take the show as it comes, because I don't always like to know. Sometimes I like to know, but I don't always like to know.
I don't like to know.
You
I
know,
don't mind. And when I do know, I don't want to know everything.
I like. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, it really depends. It really depends. Like, if it's juicy information, I'm a little more like into it. If it's like
Mm-hmm.
really gossipy,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just a gossipy bitch. I don't know. Um, but then other things like, oh well, like for example, I'm just gonna give another GH example because it's the one I have. Like, oh, Gregory's not gonna last past May. I know for a fact, and like, that's the stuff I don't want to know.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like, clearly the character's on his way out. Everybody can see that. But when it comes to like, well, now you have to expect it in the next 8 weeks. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And that was just a really loose example. Like, really
But
loose example. Don't
but
don't take that as law.
there's a lot of soap opera viewers out there that love the spoilers and want to know everything that
They
happens
want to
before it happens.
they want to tear it apart. They want to know what's happening in the next 2 weeks. They want to know exactly what to prepare for.
Folks
I
like
feel
that.
like that might have a lot to do with if you are drawn to certain characters rather than the show as a whole. You might be a little more interested in what's coming up. That way, well, next Thursday I want to make sure that I watch so I can see my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. People, there's a lot of people who treat watching soaps with a lot more detail than we do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more detail than we do, because we
Oh,
just kind of
sure.
turn on the show and then on Sunday sit around and talk about it.
Yeah. I'm
We don't do a
basically just
daily
a
dissect.
consumer. I'm just a consumer of the show.
And if you go on our Twitter feed at 10th Floor GH, you're not going to find me necessarily sitting there and like defending a particular character over another one. What you'll find is if I say anything, it's usually in reaction to other people being really unfair in their analysis. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to me, like, I don't use our account to be like, Jason and Carly are the number one, Ava and Harris are unbeatable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to take those stances, because I also like the shows as a whole. I like the beginning to the end. I like all of the different stories and all of the different characters and how they all clash and interact with each other. Like, where else are you going to watch something like Julie stumbling in on almost, doing it in the cabin if it's not on a soap? And if
That's
you're
true.
like, oh, I don't care about Julie or I don't care about Carson Boatman or whatever, and you're just skipping that stuff, you
Mhm.
miss the fun.
You do.
You do. You do.
Of
You
course,
do.
I like different lines more than others. Of course, we all
Well, yeah,
do, and
we
I
always
have
have our favorites.
my more favorite characters, but I don't skip anything because
No,
I sometimes stories actually kind of overlap a little bit, and then you're not gonna know.
it's fun because anytime we talk to other podcasters as guests on their show, like James Lott Jr. or something like that, or even when we get questions sometimes from the chat, well, what do you hate? Who's the character you hate? What's the story you hate? What's the relationship that you hate? And our answer is always like, well, the one that we like the least.
Mhm.
Like the language that we use. Well, our least favorite time was this. The one that we liked the least was that.
Mhm.
Just in the language, we just
Mhm.
try to accept everything.
To a
Maybe we're
certain
just
degree,
too easy.
maybe
But when we're watching TV, shouldn't it be easy?
supposed to be. That's what I say.
Shouldn't it
It's
be
supposed
easy
to
to
be
just
just an escape from reality, isn't it?
turn it on and just watch it? And if it bleeds into your reality and takes over your entire social media life, then maybe you should take a step back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Some people just like that stuff, though.
Some people just like that stuff. Now, if you're able to like turn that into money, kudos.
There you go.
Kudos. This is 2024. Let us not bat our eyes and shy away from monetizing your hobbies. Folks, that is how you make money nowadays, okay?
It is.
It really
It's
is.
working for a lot of people.
Monetize your hobbies. So, do that. At least all the characters in Days of Our Lives have 10 toes. Well, that's good, David. Can we guarantee that? Have you seen every foot of every actor on this show? Because what does Xander only has 9?
I don't understand where the comment comes from.
I don't know.
Like, does somebody on GH have 9 toes? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. I don't know. David, explain yourself. Uh, Nicole should have punished Holly by forcing her to pluck her eyebrows. David, whose eyebrows are you talking about? You talking about Holly's? Are they too bushy? You,
Well,
you really made Mom laugh, so you must have noticed too.
well, she's on trend, David. You know? Do you remember back in the day, Brooke Shields? Those big old bushy eyebrows were popular back then too. Now they're popular
See,
again.
there we go. There we go.
They'll get pencil thin again, I promise.
uh, real fans just enjoy the whole show, says Sandra. The soap genre. Both good and bad storylines, and it makes it more enjoyable. And I agree with you, Sandra.
I agree with you too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of them were stinkers for sure.
Yeah. Not everything's great. Okay, we dealt with toxic spheres. All right, we have a radioactive Paulina. The devil has literally taken over Mylena. These stories are stupid.
Yeah, I think in the current Paulina's radioactive story is stupid.
It might
But
be.
that's okay.
It's reactive. It's real life. People have this procedure to battle cancer, but also at the same time, you don't have the other characters in town falling into Brady's pub going, Paulina's radioactive.
But if
That's where the
they do,
stupid comes from.
but if they do next week, you know what I get out of all that kind of ridiculousness? I just get comedy out of it.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, I'll watch that nonsense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm with comedy. I'm so with comedy. Oh my gosh.
I want like I want someone to touch Paulina, and then they come away from it like 2 weeks later, they got an ET finger.
um,
And both
feeling
closed and
you,
everything.
Elliot. Thomas kind of resembles that little kid Elliot. We can stick, Paulina in a basket. They can go flying over Salem.
Speaking of, well, this is not Elliot, but it did make me think of Everett.
Mm-hmm.
He's still sinister. Underneath
Yes.
all that, he's
Yes.
sinister.
Very, very much so. He's a bad guy. And he's hiding from his depths of badness.
I think he is hiding from his depths of badness. And I think that's part of the reason why he's got some time amnesia is because he cannot face what he's done.
He can't face it. Yeah, his nice
Yes.
guy Everett personality, which became his dominant personality after his accident, cannot reconcile with the Bobby Stein of old, which is why
I think
those memories and
so.
personalities are currently suppressed.
Yeah. And that's why he snapped at Stephanie a little bit.
He snapped at Stephanie. He here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's what I think. And this is fun. This is fun. And we'll see if I'm right. There is something about in Everett, in his mind and his blocked memories and all that, that recognizes if he were to acknowledge that he is Bobby Stein, those memories will come back. So by saying, I'm not him, I'm not going to sign that name, he is protecting himself desperately from being faced with that. It is an interesting thing that I wish started differently, because I am pretty uninvested in Everett at this point for the story to be popping off like it is. So I hope to be able to be drawn in, because I think it's a really interesting concept.
Yeah, they should have started that. They should have accelerated it a little bit. And I'm happy to see that Jada and Stephanie are speaking with each other again.
Yeah.
I thought Jada was really, really, like had misguided anger at Stephanie. Because Stephanie's an absolute victim of this. She did not know that there was a Bobby Stein.
Right.
She didn't know her love interest, or man that she loved, whatever, was actually capable of this and that and the other thing. She did not know that.
No. Neither one of them knew that. But I can understand, to a degree, Jada needing some time to get over it, to reconcile with that information. Oh, you wound up being the reason he left. Whether that was her fault or not, or her influence or choice, there's still a moment of being like, oh, you're the one.
Yeah.
But she got over it pretty quick.
So I think we got some good stuff coming up with Everett, though, that, he'll be popping off. I would love for him to start having a Jekyll Hyde kind of thing where him as Everett doesn't even know, has like some kind of lapse of time from last night.
Right.
Bobby was off doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Setting fires. There we go. David says, it's not like Paulina took a bath in uranium. Yeah. That's exactly right. Hey, Julie. I am sorry, but you haven't said anything about Thomas at all. I sure have, Julie. We talked about Thomas and making the pun, take him out for ice cream.
And we want him to engage in John. We want him to turn him into the pawn and not even know it.
But we talked about how Thomas could interact with the pawn and give Drake Hogestyn a chance to kind of play like a sillier, more irreverent, mind-controlled assassin, kind of like Terminator 2, kind of silly Arnold got in that. Sometimes when it came with, dealing with John Connor, like that sort of thing. We talked about it, Julie. Sorry you missed it. Or if it wasn't long enough. I try to, I can't use that many. I can only use one thumbnail picture for the intro thing. And I, try to pick something I liked during the week. Something I thought was fun.
He was an enjoyable little boy. We got to meet him. We interviewed him.
We did. There's actually a little interview from the red carpet when he was nominated. A little Carrie Christopher. He's on there. Check that out, Julie. Check that out. Sorry it wasn't in-depth enough for you, but hopefully the rest of the content of this podcast was enjoyable.
I hope so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me check these notes. What else I got to talk about? You want to say more stuff about Thomas? Sure. We got to see what happens. He found the card, and that's it. He's a little liar, though. A little klepto liar.
Yeah, he is. And he don't listen either. His daddy told him right before he went and ran off, don't be going in these rooms.
Stop going in these rooms, boy.
Don't be running in these rooms.
And then he did.
First thing he did was run into Constantine's room.
And then he did. First thing.
And then he rummaged through Constantine's things.
See, he needs an influence. Chad's not being a good dad. Chad needs to gain control over his little rebellious child.
Well,
he also is a Demira.
Children of that age do not really forecast very well of what could happen if I do this.
It's because they're old enough to think. Well, they're old enough to realize, hey, I'm alone in the room. Nobody's gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
But young enough to not think about the lasting implications of said action. I remember having a cousin that was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I took this thing and put it in my top drawer and said I didn't? Wouldn't it be fun if I took this lighter to a fence for a minute? There's just like,
That turned out well.
there's like moments where, you have like a 10 or 11-year-old where you're like, what are you doing, you little idiot? Right?
Exactly.
But then you can't say that, of course.
No.
So we all run into it. We all run into it. Julie says, controlling the pawn? Yes, I missed it. It's all right, though. You know what? Because once this is over, we're going to have the VOD, the video on demand, or the replay, depending on your generation, for you to go back and click around and, find it if you can, or just enjoy other parts of the podcast that you might have missed. But it's the hour, Ma.
Is it the hour?
It's the hour. We got to hop off of this so we can rest our precious little voices so we can come right back on to talk about General Hospital.
Yes. My goodness, yes. It is 10:29, isn't it?
It is. That's enough time for us to, go maybe have a quick piece of toast and a cup of coffee.
Yep.
But then come right back here at 11 a.m. Pacific time as we get into General Hospital specific, and that's always a lot of fun and usually a little more on topic. Sometimes. So here's the sign out. Like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed what you're doing. Leave a super chat or super thanks if you feel like donating to the cause of keeping the lights on. No pressure, no requirement. Everything that you find on YouTube is still going to remain absolutely free to you. Visit us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH to join in on the soap chat all week long. You can also follow us on Instagram. We got a little Facebook page. I use Twitter more than anything else, though. It's the easiest for me. But all of that exists. So do all of that, and we'll see you right back here in half an hour for 10th Floor.
Yeah.
I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And signing out for Angela, who did intend to be here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next week for Days for Dummies and in a couple of minutes for 10th Floor. Goodbye.